We've been talking about the heavy rains causing chaos in KZN. Many people are either forced to evacuate their homes willingly or unwillingly. Roads closed due to extensive flooding and some even completely destroyed. Well, the Vice-Chancellor and Principal of the University of Johannesburg, Professor Tshilidzi Marwela, has written an opinion piece talking about these deadly floods in KZN. Let's bring the good prof into the conversation. Now, hello to you, Professor Marwela. Thanks very much for taking time to speak to me this afternoon. Your opinion piece talks about a lot. I find it fascinating, saying 1A is a climate change issue, corruption and ineptitude. Climate change, I think we can all understand what is going on there. I'm curious to get your thoughts on corruption and ineptitude, because for me, Prof, that's where this conversation goes next. Lots of money coming in. How well is it going to be managed? A, and B, the issues we've seen with infrastructure even before these floods. Would you agree with me?
No, absolutely. No, thank you very much. And I greet all your listeners. I think we need to contribute towards rebuilding KwaZulu-Natal. As you have read on the newspaper, the University of Johannesburg has launched a fundraising exercise where the Chair of Council and me have pledged 120,000 rands that we are going to donate for this. But what is important is that whatever resources that are going to be put into place to rebuild KZN, they have to be used for rebuilding KZN, which basically means that our procurement must be as efficient as possible, which means that the amounts must not end up in people's pockets. It must be used to rebuild KZN. And obviously, many of the infrastructure in our cities, we know, are absolutely in a sorry state. If you can just walk into any of our downtowns, you will realize that there's a lot of debt that is just piling and piling. Now, the question that you have to ask yourself is, what happens to that debt when the rain comes? Of course, it is going to go into the drainage system. Now, when it goes into the drainage system, what is the impact of that? It means the drainage system does not work. And if it does not work, it means that when you have floods, the impact of those floods on people's lives, on people's well-being, is going to be severely negative, and we need to do something about that.
When we say do something about that, Prof, forgive me, I did have a little audio breakup as you were talking about the pledge that UJ is making. Perhaps just remind me of that number. I don't want to miss that. It's very important, one. And then two, but how do we stop this? Because corruption and ineptitude, we've seen it doing two major events in South Africa's history. One was the riots in July of last year, and the other is exactly what we call state capture. And it's about the issues that you're talking about. So we always say something needs to be done. If the President was listening to you and I talk right now, Prof, what would you tell the President to do to stop this happening again?
Well, we need to get competent people into the right places. Because as you can imagine, rebuilding a devastated community like this requires absolutely top-notch engineers. It requires people with the technical know-how in all areas of lives, whether it is in finance and procurement and whether it is in infrastructure itself. If we do not get that right, then the rebuilding is going to be suboptimal. And when the next floods come, and they're going to come as a result of climate change, then the damage is going to even be more severe.
And just before I let you go, I just want to please, Prof, if you could just repeat the pledge that UJ is offering for the relief effort. I think I missed the number. Just remind me quickly.
Yeah, so basically what we have done, we have launched a fundraising exercise for all our staff to donate. And the Chairman of Council, Mr. Mike Turkey, and I have put a seed funding, or our own person, of 120,000 rands, and we are hoping that other UJ staff and students and alumni are going to come to the party, and we are expecting to exceed 1 million rands.
Oh, every little bit helps. Prof, from UJ and your staff, thank you very much. I'm sure everyone in KZN is going to certainly appreciate everything you can do for us down in KZN.